Thanks to the support as a channel member, Peter Waleshko. Two big matches for you today, folks. We have the quarterfinal of the Champions League and the final of the Copa del Rey as we look to add some more silverware to the collection. I'm welcome to part 13 of Rebuilding Barcelona. I'm Kev, and I tried to re-sign Messi, and he's going somewhere else. It's very sad. I've tried to sign a number of big players on pre-contracts. In fact, he agreed to a new contract at Paris Saint-Germain rather than agreeing to go somewhere else. But we were really strict about sticking to the £200,000 a week, absolute maximum, including he agreed to, I think, 175k a week as a salary, but then wanted it to go up to 300 after 20 appearances or something. And I was like, no, it can go up to 195. We don't go above 200. And he did that thing where they provisionally agree, but I guess then Paris Saint-Germain came in with what is obviously a better offer. We'll try again next year. It would be nice to bring him back, but we are not going to bring him back and break our wage structure. We did the same thing with Robert Lewandowski, trying to bring him in as well. Again, provisionally agreed to a similarly structured deal that kept him below £200,000 a week. In the end, he's agreed to go to Liverpool, who presumably are paying him loads more. It would be nice to bring in some of these megastars, but it would be even nicer to be debt-free. So we're not going to be able to. The debt's rising again as well because we've constantly got this bunch of money going out every month, and we haven't had any big sponsorship money or anything come in for a little while. So the debt is on the way back up. We're very conscious of it, and I think we do need to lower the wage budget even further in the summer. Transfer-wise, we have got a couple of things lined up for the summer. Lots of young players. We're really focusing in on bringing in young players. Some of these look like they're going to be pretty good as well. They're all new gens, I think. Anton Linders, a 17-year-old Swedish under-21 international. He's played 2 games for AIK in Sweden. And we've also got Gernot Josic, who's a Czech under-21 international at 16 years old. He's been playing for Victoria Plzen and has played a couple of games for their B team. We've got Erik Bertelsen, who's a 16-year-old Danish under-21 international, who's at FC Copenhagen and has been playing a couple of games for them as well. And then lastly, Ronnie Kroos is a 16-year-old Danish under-21 international striker, who's at Brøndby and has already scored a goal for them, which is very nice to see. So we're very focusing in on the Scandinavian teenagers. It's like playing Championship Manager 0102 again. What I do find interesting, usually managing in the Premier League, is that we're able to bring them in when they're still 16, 17 years old and they're actually going to arrive. So that's quite cool. I guess that's the whole EU freedom of movement thing, meaning that we don't have to wait until they're 18, so we can actually get them into the youth setup. And I think that might be not the only focus, because obviously we're doing a 4-year save. These 16-year-olds might just be breaking onto the bench by the end of the save, but we're trying to leave the club better than we found it. So we're going to keep bringing in these as we find them and continue to focus in on youth as we can't get Messi or Lewandowski or anyone of that kind of caliber. Other than that, since you were last with me, we've carried on winning football matches, as you would expect. We are still top of the Liga. I think we've pretty much got this wrapped up at this point. 9 points clear, 3 games in hand over Real Madrid. Tammy Abraham's the top scorer in the league. Alex Grimaldo, top player in the league. It's lovely to see that it's not just Barcelona players who are doing well. It's all the players we brought in. So I signed Abraham, I signed Grimaldo, Sula, Isco. These are all players that I signed that are performing really, really well and better than the Barcelona originals who are still knocking around at the club. So for all those who said that the transfer window was awful in the summer, hi, how you doing? Lovely screen that, isn't it? And we've also played the first leg of the quarterfinal against Napoli, winning 2-0 in Italy with goals from Pedri and Sula. That was the team that went out there and faced them. So we should be looking good for a spot in the semi-final. We face Napoli first, and then we've got Villarreal in the Copa del Rey final, and hopefully collect our first piece of silverware and start to make some strides towards a few more. I think it would be lovely this season if we could win the treble. It would be lovely every season if we could win the treble, but we're actually in with a chance of it this year because we're playing some very good football. So this is the team for the game against Napoli. We've got ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Dest, Sula, Garcia and Rudiger. Injuries to Azpilicueta and Grimaldo forcing me to use Rudiger at right back, and Dest's going over to left back to cover. De Jong and Herrera together in midfield. They've been together most of this season, and they are a pretty good partnership in there. De Jong able to be full on playmaker mode, and Herrera, the box-to-box midfielder I wanted all along. And then Depay, Isco and Fati behind the king of Barcelona, Tammy Abraham up front. The greatest player in the history of the football club. Possibly. Who knows? He might end up as the greatest player in the history of the football club. He's certainly been an absolute superstar in his first season. Barcelona's number 9, Tammy Abraham, top scorer in all of Spain. Tammy Abraham. I am very much enjoying it because people said I was a silly boy for bringing Tammy Abraham in, and just love it when a plan comes together. That being said, Napoli have actually started this game a little brighter than we have, so we do need to make sure we don't find a way to throw this away. Imagine after all of that episode starting gloating, we managed to throw away a 2-0 away lead and actually get ourselves knocked out of the Champions League. I'll look like a right plonker. So if we could not let that happen, please, boys, that would... Oh, it's actually going to happen, isn't it? Oh, no. Oh, no. We're not disallowing that for anything. I don't know what it could be disallowed for, but if you could disallow that for something, but they're not going to. How have we let him keep that in there? How have we still let the cross come over? There's so many hows involved in this. We are playing... I mean, I don't even want to say it's a makeshift back four. It's not. We've got our normal centre-back partnership. It's just Rudiger's playing at right back, which isn't ideal, but that's not what's caused that goal. That's what's prevented that piece of attacking play from working out there. Obviously, Dest is usually a huge attacking influence, and there he is. The king of Barcelona is in for his 29th goal of the season. Tammy Abraham makes everything all right again after an iffy start to the game. Yeah, just trust Tammy. That's what it comes down to. You just got to trust Tammy. That's going to be the motto of the save. And I mean, it's a very tidy finish. A one touch, lovely little ball in from Memphis. And Abraham's just said, yeah, I'll have that. I score these kind of goals all the time. I'll have me some of this. And he does. Why have we got two players basically marking each other here? I don't really know what's gone on there. Wild attempt at a tackle. Victor Osimhen he's causing us all kinds of problems today. So if we could deal with him, he's potentially a player we could be looking at. I mean, he's not gonna replace Tammy Abraham in the side, obviously, but as a reserve to Tammy, that might work. If we've decided Pedro's not really working out, he's gone out on loan to Lyon and isn't really playing there either. So we do kind of need a second striker. That's why we were looking at Messi. That's why we were looking at Lewandowski. Maybe someone like Osimhen. I'm not really sure. It depends what kind of budgets we get in the summer and which players we can move on. Again, we're very much looking to move Aguero on, move PK, ter Stegen. If we can get, the three of them leaving is close to £500,000 a week in wages gone. So if we can get them gone, that brings us down to about 1.8 million a week in total wage spend. We can afford to bring in one player on £200,000 a week. That one player would probably be a striker. And it could be someone like him, but they're going to have to play second fiddle to this guy because Tammy Abraham's just got his 30th goal of the season and he is just an unstoppable goal machine. He's in again here. Pace, power, composure. Just what more could you want from a striker? He is a complete forward. He has everything. I wouldn't swap him for Messi if you offered it. Wouldn't swap him for Messi. Oh, the Barca. How to endear yourself to the Barcelona fans. Tell them you'd rather have Tammy Abraham than Messi. He's 10 years younger. You can have a decade of Tammy. What would you rather have? 2 years of Messi or 10 years of Abraham? It's easy. All football fans know the answer to that question. It's just easy. I trust we don't disagree. It's 2-2. Napoli are not giving up here. After my rant earlier in the week about AI and game management, it actually seems like Napoli are coming at us in this second leg and trying to actually win the football match, which maybe I spoke too soon criticising the game AI. Maybe I've spurred it on into life, and they've decided to try and give it a little bit of a go. We've got a lot of tired players in midfield as well, which is not ideal. We'll freshen it up as much as we can. But this is not an ideal situation currently. We're going to take off Memphis. I'm just going to put Pedri out on the right, Fati on the left, Antonio and Sandri in midfield. Just fresh legs everywhere. Try Fati on a different side and just try and get some energy going in that midfield again. And this is a big ask for Sandri, particularly, who's played a handful of games for us, to come into a Champions League quarter-final. But, you know, you've got to put faith in these young players that we bring in. And he's shown some decent composure there, playing it into Ansu Fati, who is now charging forward. He's got Tammy Abraham there to support him. I thought he was going to stick it in the top corner himself. He didn't. Probably should have given it to Tammy. But, you know, can't have everything. He's not quite on Tammy's level. I will stop now, I promise, unless he scores a screamer here. Pedri on the right-hand side. He's got Rudiger there supporting him. He plays it out to Rudiger. They're not even closing Rudiger down, and he still manages. They're not closing him down. He still manages to hit his cross into one of their players. It's for Rudiger again. This time, hit your cross. Hit your cross. Hit your... He's like, he's not a right back, to be fair to him, but this is a problem if he gets sent off here. Oh, right. The mood's just changed in here, because all of a sudden we might have a bit of a problem. Right, we're going to do that. No, we're going to do that. We might just drop down to balanced. Just keep an eye on how things are going. This is not ideal. We could do with another goal here, boys. It's Sula, and he's just touching the crossbar as it goes over. A red card in this kind of situation is not what anybody wants to see. I think we are just about going to hold on. There doesn't seem to be... This is where you would expect Napoli to be throwing players forward, and they're not. This is what I mean about AI and game management. We've just dropped down from control, or whatever it's called these days, positive, to balanced, and just shut the game down just with that. Just, right, we're just going to take the foot off the gas a little bit, and there wasn't another highlight, and they've not really gone for it. In the circumstances, I'm pretty happy about it, but in general, not ideal. Right, we're not going to appeal against the ban. You got sent off for being a rascal. Give Tammy a tap on the head. Good job, well done. And that means tomorrow's episode is going to be a semi-final against either Liverpool or Leipzig. We should know who that is before the next match. But for now, we're going to play Villarreal in the Copa del Rey final and try and win some silverware. Right, a couple of changes for the Copa del Rey final. Livakovic comes in goal for Ter Stegen, just to give him some game time, give him a cup final. He'll have a lovely time. And we've also got Grimaldo coming back into the defence, so Dest can go back over to right back. He's not fully fit. It's not ideal, but neither is playing Rudiger there, so we'll just keep an eye on Dest, I think. Azpilicueta, still injured. He's going to be out for the rest of the season, 2 to 3 months, with a damaged spine, which is, we've already used not ideal, but similarly, damaged spine, not ideal. So we probably need to be looking in terms of fullbacks in the summer as well, because we are a little bit light if Azpilicueta is going to continue to be injury prone, which at 33 years old, he is starting to pick up a few injuries. Since signing for us in the summer, he's had the groin strain, a twisted ankle, and a damaged spine. 2 moderate, 1 major injuries in a year. At 33, I think even if he does recover physically, he's not going to be the same standard of player he was before. So a fullback definitely on the shopping list for the summer. De Jong and Herrera staying together in midfield. Then we've dropped Ansu Fati. We're resting Fati. Pedri comes in on the right-hand side with Isco, Depay and Tammy Abraham. And we've also put Gavi up onto the bench for today, just because I know you lot are desperate to see him. So if the opportunity presents itself, he can come on and get some minutes, and you can have a little look to see how he's developing. I will emphasise again, like I think I said in the last episode, he's only 18 years old. It's fine that he's not playing regularly for us yet. Absolutely fine. He's got plenty of time to develop, and it's not like we're ignoring the homegrown youngsters. Fati Fati and Pedri both getting lots of game time. I know Pedri was signed from somebody else, but he does still count as homegrown because he signed so young. Preempting people telling me off. Dest as well is another one who, I mean, he's a young player who was here at the start. That's 3 of them who are playing really regularly for us. So they're not being ignored. Garcia, again, you could throw him into that mix as well. Who's a young player who's getting plenty of game time. I'm just not going to play 8 or 9 teenagers all at the same time, because I think you're probably asking for trouble then. As anyone who watched my homegrown series that we've done on YouTube this year, if you haven't watched it, you should. It was great. But we did learn in that if you have a team full of teenagers, it can cause problems with things like consistency and morale and confidence and that kind of thing. So you need a few older players knocking around the place to balance that out, which is why we're not throwing all the kids in together. I mean, we're going to be at the point where someone like Fati could probably be one of those experienced heads next year. He'll have done a couple of full seasons playing for us. So you kind of don't put him in that category anymore. Same with Dest. Pedri's maybe a year behind. But yeah, there's a few of them who you could start considering a little bit more experienced and bring a few more kids in then. We're 1-0 down. Villarreal are troublesome. They knocked us out of the cup last season. No, they beat us in the Super Cup. It's one of the only games we've lost this season. They beat us in the Super Cup. I think they knocked us out of a cup last year as well. They're just a frustratingly good cup side who don't seem to be able to do it in the league, which is, I mean, they've got that nailed. Sports Interactive have got that one absolutely nailed from what I know. From my limited knowledge of Villarreal in real life, that seems pretty accurate. But it's annoying because I was hoping to be able to show you a piece of silverware today. And at the moment, it's not looking as likely to happen. Although Dest is trying to do something about it, playing it across to Grimaldo, who plays it into Herrera. Back with Dest again, who's played it into the path of Abraham. That's a beautiful goal. Lovely, lovely football. It's a great pass from Dest. And Tammy Abraham's there again, because that is what Tammy Abraham does. He is just a goal machine. But this is great from Dest. Playing it over to Grimaldo, it works its way back to him. And this cross is a thing of beauty. It's just so tantalizingly perfectly placed between the striker and the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper doesn't know whether to come or not. Tammy Abraham knows he definitely goes for it. Gets there first before a hesitating goalkeeper. And all of a sudden, what had been an iffy looking first half looks like a first half that we controlled, and then got a deserved equaliser just before half time, thanks to one of the great crosses. Grimaldo now from the throw. We probably need to be looking to take Dest off because he wasn't fully fit going into the game. Rudiger can give us the last 20 minutes, but Dest, as you can see, absolutely crucial. This is why we risk him and play him in a big game, because we know the threat that he gives us down this right-hand side. But the fact he hasn't chased onto that one suggests he is starting to tire. So I think we do take him off now. We don't push it too far with him. But if he's not in the team at all, I think we're still losing in this match. And we're going to take off Memphis as well. Fati can come on for him. And then, you know what? I'll give you your Gavi time. We'll get him in. We'll bring him on for Isco, I guess. He can play in there. And you can have a little look at Gavi for 20 minutes playing in that role. I'm bringing him on instead of Aguero because prioritising youngsters, prioritising youth and all that, player development, that kind of thing. Plus, if he's been training 10 out of 10 for the last couple of weeks. So he came back from his loan in January, has been training fantastically, and he's always top of that training report that you get through an email every week. So kind of forcing his way into my thinking because he's training so well. But it looks like we're ending this in a draw, which I don't know if it goes straight to penalties or extra time than penalties. Grimaldo with the in-swing. As soon as that cannons back off the crossbar in what was probably the final move of the match. We're millimetres away from winning that in normal time. But as it is, we've got to go to extra time. I don't know if we get a fourth substitution at this point. We should probably try. I guess this is where you do bring on Aguero. Or maybe actually Antonio in midfield. Because De Jong is... No, we can't make any more anyway. Silly football. You should be able to make a fourth substitution there, but you can't. Still 1-1. We probably need to just shout a little bit. We should be winning this against anyone, really. We're better than everybody here in Spain. We know this. Pedri, across to Ansu Fati, who's fresh, of course, coming on with 20 minutes to go and forcing the save out the Villarreal goalkeeper. That's good attacking oomph. We know we love oomph around here, and that's what Fati gave us there. Sula this time manages to keep his header down. A 12th goal of the season for him, shows just what an incredible threat he is at that near post from these corners. All 6'5", I think, of him. And yeah, 12 goals. That's the kind of goal return we signed him for. Yeah, he's a great defender, but the fact that he's massive meant, yeah, this is somebody that we want because he'll do that consistently. I mean, Garcia got a hat-trick the other week, doing a similar thing, and he's only 6 foot tall. We're just quite good at set pieces these days. And we have won a trophy. Is this the first trophy you've seen us actually collect? Because I don't think we got a trophy presentation for winning La Liga last year because it happened outside of a match. So I think this is the first opportunity to see us celebrate with a piece of silverware your 2023 Copa del Rey champions, Barcelona. We'll take it. We like that very much. Livakovic are having a lovely time. He's going to do a cartwheel now. I had an inbox message saying he was a little bit disappointed with the game time he was getting. That was 2 days ago. Now we play him in a final and he gets a medal. So fingers crossed that's his disappointment gone away for a little while. I need to be able to take him to one side and say, look, you're my first choice goalkeeper the moment we can sell Ter Stegen. But for now, you do just have to wait. But we have won a trophy, which is delightful. Hopefully, the first of many. We've qualified for the Europa League. Just mission accomplished. Beautiful stuff. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.